All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Usually don't say that good afternoon, but here we are. Fed decision coming in like right now on rate anything, which obviously it's not going to mean anything. Appreciate your flexibility today. I just returned literally about a half an hour ago from a CEO forum here in Boca Raton, talking about the foundation and as a running a nonprofit, folks, it is a never-ending business of raising money to try and heal our heroes. As of me jumping on, there are 11 memberships left. Okay, 11 memberships. Probably get those today, and then we're done. I'll still do solo Amazon tomorrow. As a reminder, solo Amazon is a separate standalone service. Strongly recommend you join solo Amazon in addition to full throttle, but it's up to you. If you're not ready for full throttle, solo Amazon's a great gateway drug, so to speak, to get started at TOPGUN Options. Check out what we do. Or if you're in full throttle, you obviously want to have solo Amazon as well. Little pop in the S&P 500, rates are unchanged. But let me, there's a couple questions in support about, hey, what's the difference between monthly and, let me just answer some questions for y'all quick. So if you want access to all the full throttle training, the options weapon school sessions, the manuals and the live trade briefs on Tuesday and Wednesday, and the investment club, it's called the Hunters, right? The Hunters is, here it is on the website. Oops, sorry, right here. So this is the Hunters right here, man. We have two threads. We have the intel and commentary right here, and then we have the trade alerts thread. Okay, this is where I posted the SIBO trade yesterday. How many of you took the bull put spread yesterday? Out 1,500 bucks, 75% profit. This would send out to everyone. Not everyone if you're not a member. I meant everyone who is currently a member. If you're here for free, and you took the bull put spread we covered in our brief yesterday morning, you're welcome. If you did 15 contracts, what was that? That was a 2,200 profit. I took profit at 75%. Why? 7, 8, 9. If you held it until expiration, you made 100% profit. But you know me, I get a little leery trying to squeeze every penny out of a trade. 1,500 bucks, man. So as of today, in trades that I've covered and posted this week in the S&P 500, that's 4,300 bucks. Men lie, trades don't. These aren't old PowerPoint slides. This isn't some old presentation that I've been giving you. This has been live for the past 2 days. I paid for your annual membership. So the Hunters is right there online. There's 262 people over here in the Hunters. And obviously it's an app. It's called Collab, K-O-L-L-A-B, right? Somebody just asked that right there, Steve. So it's called Collab in the App Store, okay? So you download that and you get everything on your phone. You get the Hunters, you get your full throttle training. Hell, you can get access to the live trade briefs on here, okay? Now, and then we're going to talk about trading, but I was looking at support and some of the questions, so let me knock those out. This is the monthly Hunters, right? You get access to the Hunters, duh, and all your full throttle stuff, okay? This is the annual full throttle max, access to the Hunters and everything, okay? The difference between these two is that this is kind of a tire kicker for the Hunters. I want to try for a couple months before taking the plunge into an annual membership. Understood. That's why I came up with a monthly Hunters. There really wasn't a middle ground between the annual and the monthly. So I came up with that. Okay. Now, the $295 full throttle monthly does not, let me say it again, does not get you into the Hunters. Period. You're not paying for the Hunters, so you don't get access to it. This is kind of to keep your trial going, so to speak. You get access to everything except the Hunters. You do get trade alert emails, folks, when the trades are opened, right? I've been sending out emails after every brief with screenshots of the trade and some commentary about the brief. But my closing trades are only posted in the hunters or the max afterburner. Technically, ladies and gentlemen, I shouldn't have to post closing trades, should I? Why? Because you, I know I don't, you should never get into a trade without knowing when you're closing it. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That's called Vietnam. That's called North Korea. We do not enter, trading's combat, folks. We do not enter a trade unless we know when we're leaving. Give me a vertical head nod that you understand this, okay? But since I'm a nice guy, I post my closing trades in the hunters anyway. You just saw it right there. Closed out, 75% profit, 1,500 bucks I'm at. But I do not send out email alerts. I'm not doing extra work. That is why you pay to be in the hunters annual, or I'm sorry, the hunters monthly right there, or the annual. Obviously, folks, as a businessman, I want you in the hunters for the rest of your life. That's a jerk move. That's why this is a 50% discount, folks. The $29.95 is half of this. So you can stay in the hunters for a year if you want, thank you, or you just do the damn upgrade. I think just about every, no, there's a couple 497s. Almost all, except for a handful of 497s, are these annual memberships, okay? Any questions on that? I didn't write the names down from support, but I figured I could squeeze them all into this little brief right here. Any questions on the difference between our services? Okay, one more time, full throttle tomorrow. I'm sorry, solo Amazon tomorrow, 97 bucks a month, 970 a year, all good. You bet, Saul. Joe, I don't have a military discount for full throttle, man. This is the discount. I haven't raised prices in 15 years. So thank you for your service. These are the memberships. Okay, these are discounted enough. Trust me, when I play secret shopper at some other places who suck, I need to raise there's your military discount. It's on the screen. Maybe I'll raise these prices this year. Okay, any other questions? Saul, maybe that was you that wrote support, okay? Trust me, this is where you're gonna end up, right? Whether if you do this or this is where you're gonna end up, trust me. There's most of the 295 folks email us in a couple months like, okay, yeah, I'm ready for the annual. Or these people, a couple months, okay, I'm ready for the annual, okay? So one more time on your screen, this does not get access to the hunters, period. These do. Okay. All right. Enough of that because we have a lot to cover. But I want to get that out of the way. 11 people, 11 memberships are left. Okay. Do not be the guy that writes me next week after we fill up and go, hey, I'd like to buy full throttle. Okay. We'll see you next quarter when I open up the doors for full throttle. You can go in solo Amazon. We have a ton of people in there. I don't mind a Battle of Britain in there. I do mind a Battle of Britain in full throttle on the hunters. I like a nice tight knit squadron. I don't want a zoo. Don't need the money. I don't like a zoo. Okay. Any other questions, concerns? Oh, by the way, smart remarks. One more time, I'm going to tell you, and I promised you this at the beginning, didn't I? Or no, maybe I didn't. Where's my mission objective? Right here. So what did I tell you Monday morning? I said by the end of the week, I'm going to give you up-to-date intelligence briefs. We have a lot to talk about. I mean, hell, in 24 hours and in a Trump presidency, 8 million things change. But I've been giving you up-to-date intelligence briefs. By Thursday, tomorrow, you're going to know how to trade options. Hopefully by today, you're starting to get how to trade options and how to turn panic into profit. What I didn't put on my mission objective slide, maybe I should going forward, is that I'm going to pay for your membership. Okay, and I did. If you did the trades on the S&P 500 that I covered this week, you made 4,300 bucks. It's not a lie. That's not bullshit. It was covered. Every one of these trades in here was covered. So again, I don't know what else I can do. If you're still on the fence, don't join because you have no idea what you're doing. You don't recognize what a good trade is, right? So this is usually the final day, but like I said, I'm going to do solo Amazon tomorrow for folks who want to join that service. All right, so we have a huge, in 19 minutes, we're gonna mute, or we're gonna listen, or I'm gonna try and task share here because I want to listen to the Fed press conference. So if you can, have Fox Business News on, CNBC or Bloomberg, so we can listen to this. I don't know how to do it on here, so you guys can listen too. Why? Because the Fed is like a heart rate monitor. If he's a little hawkish, the market's going to implode. If he's a little dovish, we're going to have a rip your face off rally. If he's normal Jerome porridge, not too hot, not too cold, we're probably just going to hang out. Okay. But this one is going to be big because this is the first one where he's going to have to put up with no shit what Donald Trump's doing with trade and, you know, all sorts of stuff like that. Powell contends with double threat of economic chaos and political hostility. Okay. He's navigating the fog of the trade war from an admin ready to blame officials for any economic slowdown. Oh boy. Where was the other Trump? The Fed's wait and see outlook obscures a bigger strategy shift. Central banks can lower rates because of good or bad news. The window for good cuts is closing due to new inflation risks. Again, the Wall Street Journal has turned into the New York Times. New inflation risks? Where you been for 4 years there, Chief? Democrats out of control spending. The Inflation Reduction Act caused massive inflation. But of course, everybody loves punching Donald Trump, right? Anything bad that's going to happen is because of him. You've been gaslit for 2-3 years. Everything's great. The economy's great. Inflation's great. Everything's great. Well, it isn't for me. Well, then it's just for you. Everybody else is doing well. It's you that is the outlier. I'm pretty sure I talked to a lot of people and everybody's not doing too good either. Well, you're lying. That's fake news. Okay, you got it. Yeah, I was going to say 4 years, Rick, but you know, I was hoping that maybe the first year of Biden's presidency, when the adults were supposed to be in charge, that, you know, it actually wasn't. So my prediction, and I've been right with all of this, is not only do we not get another rate cut this year, I believe, you ready for this? Buckle up, Buttercup. He's going to have to increase interest rates. How do you think the market's going to do when Jerome says, well, inflation's been a little sticky, we're going to have to maybe raise 25 points? Look out below. But if there's a recession, right? Is there going to be a Trump recession? He's probably going to be forced into the corner of maybe having to cut rates. So, man, the Fed sucks. Jerome Powell sucks. Janet Yellen sucked. They all have been awful. We believe inflation's transitory. 2 years? Okay, you redefined woman, you redefined recession, now we know, and vaccine, and now you redefined recession. If you can't hit the ball over the net, lower the net. So it's going to be interesting here in about 17 minutes. We'll see if we can listen to some of it. Putin agrees to pause attacks on Ukraine energy infrastructure in call with Trump. What happened last night? Russia attacked Ukraine infrastructure, energy infrastructure. So we have that. So Trump says he had a very good call with Zelensky on ceasefire efforts. Why am I rambling about this? Because if you're a tactical trader, you're miserable. You have got to look at these issues. For the past 3.5 years, we haven't heard a single P word. Peace. Did Kamala or Joe even mention the P word? Nope. They got to feed the MIC, the military industrial complex. They had to feed Ukraine so Ukrainian people could donate to Democrat politicians, and it was a big money laundering operation, right? So we don't want peace whiz. That's our gravy train, just like USAID and all the other bullshit, right? So if, I will say if, I was going to say when, let's do both. If or when the shooting stops, uncertainty will clear up. We should get a massive relief rally. Hell, Donald Trump said, yeah, we talked about Ukraine. That was a small part of the call. We were talking about trade. We were talking, whoa, wow. So maybe we can put this absolute horror behind us and get back to living. Markets will celebrate this. And of course, Trump will not get the Nobel Peace Prize. That only went to Barack Hussein Obama for getting elected and then causing war in Yemen, Libya, and all sorts of other places. And he killed US citizens in drone strikes, which is murder, but that's a separate conversation. So this should be bullish. I placed the sniper shot yesterday morning. Oh, and by the way, men lie, trades don't. These are my S&P 500 trades in 2.5 weeks. If you started trading with me at the beginning of this month, doing my S&P 500 trades, you are the proud owner of 24,000 bucks. You're welcome. Okay. Which is a lifetime membership here at Top Gun Options. We'll keep an eye on this iron condor in the background. I still have the bull put spread of the iron condor on, and I might actually shoot the bear call spread here in a couple minutes, get back into the iron condor. So anyway, I brought that up because when I put on the bull put spread yesterday during the trade brief and went to the gym. Why? Because I live my life. I don't sit here for 8 hours and stare at the screen. I'd rather get my teeth drilled. When I saw it break across the wires that there was going to be, I had a great call with Putin and we're talking about peace. We got a little bit of a rally. I'm like, all right, yay. And then, again, that trade expired for max profit yesterday afternoon, but I'm glad I took my profits right here for 75% because we could have slammed into the close. No one has gone broke taking a profit. This is an Obama teachable moment here. Let's say your trade yesterday, like mine, was up 75%. But you're like, no, Wiz, I want to squeeze the rest out of it. And it closed for a max loss. You'll probably do that once in your career, and then you're going to go, you know what, that Wiz guy was right. Do not turn a 70, 80, or 90% winning trade into a 100% loser. Didn't happen yesterday, but I'm just spitballing that if we had a slam into the close, we had one of those back here, up here, and then slam. Take profits. One more time, nobody's gone broke taking a profit. Does everybody understand this? Jan, I took 60. There you go, Jan. Mo, what is the best way to sign up for annual Full Throttle Max? Right here. Let me give, I thought I posted all these links. Sorry about that. This is right here. This is the page. It's already defaulted to the Full Throttle Max. So welcome aboard, Mo. There's the link in the chat box. After Mo, it'll be 10 memberships. I will close the doors when we get another 10. So Mo, welcome aboard. That is the link to buy. This is our Full Throttle member page right here to buy your memberships. Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's keep going here. We talked about Putin. We talked about Trump. Israel's bombing the shit out of Hezbollah. Good. For a country who was famous for saying, we don't negotiate with terrorists, they've done a lot of negotiating with terrorists. Absolutely wrong. Netanyahu should have said on October 8th, assume all the hostages are dead and we're going to kill all of you. If we rescue a couple in the process, yay. Everybody else is dead. This was the wrong way to do it, period. These Hamas roaches are sitting on dead bodies and sitting on hostages. It's disgusting. All these people need to die. And I hate talking like this, but man, God gave us free will, didn't he? And look at what we're doing with it. It's a horror. So anyway, Trump's destroying the Houthis, targeted houses of family members and stuff like that. He's going mafia. Why do we care about that? Because the Red Sea under Kamala and Joe has essentially been shut down. They'd lob a missile or two or attack an empty garage in Yemen because they didn't want to offend Iran. Joe Biden, he probably doesn't know he did this because he auto-penned everything. Joe Biden took the Houthis off the terror list, What are you, insane? He didn't even have them back on when they were doing all their bullshit. So if we can get peace in Eastern Europe, if we can get peace in the Red Sea, or at least open the Red Sea, it will help the markets. Does everybody understand this? We're sitting in we're sitting in some chop and some uncertainty right now, but when uncertainty clears, things will rip higher, man. I know for some of you, if you're not a current member right now, that looks ugly. If you are a current member, you're printing money in this market. I prefer down markets as an options trader. People panic. Options premiums go through the roof. I love it. As a human, I don't love it. People are stupid. They don't know how to trade and their portfolios get destroyed. As Gordon Gekko, I love it. Good. You want a friend, get a dog. Now, on this chart right here, folks, of the S&P 500, do you see this area down here? This is called MACD, Moving Average Convergence Divergence. Whenever you see these lines cross, something big usually happens. You see that cross right there? Just go and look on your own, man. Whenever there's a cross, it's a little bit of a lagging indicator. But do you see something happening down here? Oh, did we get a bounce off that 300-day? I don't know, but the MACD is kind of telling us, I think so. What did we also look at this week as an indicator, one of the instruments in our cockpit that maybe we're at a bottom here? The VIX, the volatility index, ladies and gentlemen, the heart rate monitor is back at 20. Okay, I told you it's a heart rate monitor because what? Oh my God, we're all gonna die. No, we're not. Yeah, we are. No, we're not. Yeah, we are. No, we're not. It returns to its mean. I told you earlier this week, when volatility is cheap down here, buy it, get bullish. When volatility pops and gets expensive, you do what? You get bearish and you sell it. Okay, little bit more sporty, a little bit more advanced. We can talk about trading volatility, when you become a member and down the road here, but this should be an indicator in your cockpit that, the VIX rose on, oh my God, Trump's going to get us all killed. Now he talks nice every once in a while. It's not going to be that bad. Precisely. So we have a MACD crossing. We got the VIX starting to come in, but we actually have a date, don't we? April 2nd. Donald Trump said the other day, beautiful day, April 2nd, tariffs, best word in the dictionary, love it. April 2nd, it's kind of like a mafia don, right? I'm settling all accounts April 2nd. So either that happens and we might have another leg down, or we figure stuff out before that, okay? So we have some potential trades that I'll talk about and a little bit about that. All right, what else did I want to cover before we get tactical? Talked about Powell, talked about how Wall Street and business got Trump wrong. Well, if they got him wrong, I don't know if they really listened to him. The guy ran on free and fair trade. We're not the world's piggy bank anymore. We're broke. We're the older brother, man, and all the kids, all our deadbeat siblings have been using us. Those days are over with. So yes, and we talked about the Treasury Secretary earlier in the week. Well, the market rallied when he named Bessent as Treasury Secretary because he'll be the adult and balance Trump out. I don't know if you've been listening to recent interviews with the Treasury Secretary. He sounds a little bit more hawkish than Donald Trump. Okay, I don't give a shit about the market right now. We're going to have some short-term pain. We're going to have rip your face off rally. Jason, what is the best way to switch my monthly full throttle to yearly? Now that's 9 slots left. Jason, just email support, SUPPORT, at TOPGUNoptions.com. Do that now so you can. Take 1 minute and go email support and say, hey, I want to shift my membership from monthly to an annual membership. And they will hook you up immediately because we're running out of spots here. Okay. I want to talk S&P 500 and I want to talk about a bunch of other stuff, but since I'm awesome and I love giving stuff away, and then I stop giving stuff away, and I'll talk to you in months from now if you don't join. Let me put the ladder down with this stuff. The most explosive sector I've ever seen in 34 or 5 years of doing this is the psychedelic sector, period. It ain't AI, folks. AI is going to kill every one of us. Did you see the interview with Elon Musk? When like one of the smartest guys on the planet is scared of AI, when you got Bill Gates going, oh, it's great, nothing's wrong with it. And you got Elon going, yeah, I'd be a little worried about AI, it's going to kill us all. Who do you believe? I don't trust Bill Gates as far as I can throw him. Guy, a nerd, college dropout who knows something about viruses, right? Well, let's start creating computer viruses so we can sell them antivirus protection. Turned into a virologist really quick in COVID, didn't he? Anyway, no, so it's not AI. AI, the technology, according to Moore's law, in about 5 years, nobody's going to essentially have a job. I have buddies who have AI trading firms, man. Do you want to know why some of this violence was that violent? Black boxes, folks. When I was in Chicago helping to run that multi-billion-dollar volatility arbitrage firm in the middle 2000s, we were doing this. We didn't call it AI. AI was a movie from Steven Spielberg with Haley Joel Osment or whatever that kid's name was. We were doing black box trading. If this does that, do this, black box, baby. Let's just go to the Caribbean, all the junior partners and partners. Let's just go, until what happens? Until all the black boxes decide to do this, or they all decide to do that. Until humans disconnect the autopilot and go, whoa. So with AI and all this technology, you are going to see insane swings in the market, okay? So why am I on this tangent? Because when I say this is the most explosive sector, some of you are going to go, it's AI, or it's this, or it's whatever. Same people that told me NFTs. Wiz, you're an idiot if you don't get in the NFT space. Okay. I remember in 2022, some idiot buying a JPEG of an ape for $3.5 million. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm just the only guy who thinks all of this is dumb. A year and a half later, everybody's out of business and broke. The metaverse. Wiz, you don't get it. Mark Zuckerberg spent $15 billion on the metaverse. So let me get this straight. You got to buy this Oculus thing and you want to sit on your couch, get fat and eat Cheetos and like walk around a virtual bar. Oh yeah, and women are already getting molested in the metaverse. What? God created something called the universe. You can like take that headset off and actually go outside and see a tree. No, you simply don't get it, Wiz. Okay. Same thing with crypto and a bunch of other shit. So, ladies and gentlemen, AI isn't a fad. It's clearly exploding, but the explosion of the investment already happened, right? And we're going to talk about this tomorrow in Solo Amazon. If you screw NVIDIA, man, you want to talk about putting all your eggs in one basket? I'm just going to invest in NVIDIA. Joe, yes, annual memberships renew on the day you did your annual membership. Okay. So this sector, ladies and gentlemen, is exploding, set to explode, will explode. Okay. I don't have time to give you my full pitch on the whole thing, except it saved and changed my life. Okay. Psychedelic assisted therapy is here. It ain't going anywhere, and it can save and change the world. This is why I'm talking about explosive growth. However, and I shared this with current members, this article in the Wall Street Journal, I hate this article and I love it. What? Big Pharma walked away from mental health. Why some are coming back. Oh boy. Psychiatry was once big business for pharma. Prozac, billions. Now a few breakthroughs are reviving interest. Let me scroll down and get to the only paragraph that matters. Take the psychedelics industry. There are now dozens of startups conducting studies of drugs such as LSD, MDMA, and psilocybin. Scientists don't fully understand yet how it helps, but it is clear that many report benefits for a variety of conditions: PTSD, anxiety, depression. While these therapies haven't yet gained big pharma's backing, some biotech companies, Compass, Cybin, big investor, are moving the ball forward. It'll be a big moment when pharma decides to invest in this space. Ladies and gentlemen, there is your step 3 of your trade plan for psychedelic assisted therapy. When, that article said, it didn't say if. When the CEO of Pfizer, Eli Lilly, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, read a report that says, oh yeah, this company called MindMed released a medicine. It was one dose. 80% of people with generalized anxiety disorder were cured. What? They take it every month, right, for the rest of their life? No, this was one dose. What? Are you insane? Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the disruptor. AI did its thing. It's over with. Big pharma, and I'm preaching to the choir clearly, cannot have healed customers. They need customers. There ain't no money in healing, Wiz. Yeah, I know. Quick, it's not a story, quick debrief of one of my trips to DC behind closed doors. Congressman, Republican, appropriator. Love what you're doing with no fallen heroes, Wiz. Great. You're gonna have a problem with big pharma. Oh, and the alcohol and tobacco folks too. What do you mean I'm gonna have a problem, dude? Isn't that your job? So they can't stop this, folks. Even if big pharma, we're gonna talk about the names in a second here. Even if they did the unthinkable or the most evil thing, yeah, I'm the CEO of Pfizer. You're the CEO of MindMed. Yeah, here's a massive check. I found this in my couch. It's pocket change to me, but I'm buying your entire company. Great, you're going to use it to help cure people, right? No, we're going to put that on the shelf. Whoa. But the good thing, folks, is that you can't patent a root, you can't trademark a fungus or a toad. God put these compounds on this planet for us to heal, say it with me, for free. So this is why accelerated retirement, unbelievable potential opportunity. I'm going to ripple through these. I'm keeping this on low. It's usually the Q&A that's the fireworks. His prepared words are boring. And I think they actually released them before. So we've seen the S&P. Let's go look. Nice little pop out of the S&P 500 initially. We got the rate announcement right here at 2 o'clock. Now the spoken word is going on. So let's keep an eye on this. I always wait for the turn. There might be a sniper shot opportunity in here. All right, so I'm going to ripple through this. And again, I'm giving away too much shit for free. But if you join, you're going to get a more in-depth on this. These are then, let me give you this as a great resource. Hang on one second. This is worth its weight in gold. This one. Let me give you this. This is Psychedelic Alpha. It's a free or it's a paid site if you want to pay, but I kind of know what's going on in the space. I ain't paying for stuff I already know. But this pie chart, ladies and gentlemen, is worth its weight in gold. It tells you each medicine, psilocybin, ibogaine, 5-MeO-DMT, MDMA, and if you blow the bullseye up, what companies are working on. The closer to the bullseye is the closer. So Friday, I'm driving down to Miami to do a podcast, and I'm also meeting with Dr. Deborah Mash, who runs Demerex. You might be able, I'm definitely, but you might be able to invest in Demerex. It's privately held. They are using ibogaine for AUD, alcohol use disorder. It's a horror. I was a horror. I don't know what the definition of the word alcoholic is, but I probably made that look tame. After sitting with ibogaine a single time, I couldn't look at or, God forbid, I smelled alcohol for up to a year. It made me dry heave. Ibogaine will cure alcohol use disorder. And oh, by the way, 85% of heroin addicts who use ibogaine once woke up the next morning, had breakfast. I haven't eaten breakfast in years. They ate breakfast, had no shakes. That's the worst part about heroin withdrawal is the withdrawal. Completely healed. They stopped the study after 3 years because they concluded if you start using heroin again after not using it for 3 years because of ibogaine, it wasn't the ibogaine's fault. The ibogaine gave you a new life. Okay. So anyway, different medicines, different companies. Some are in a couple places. Cybin, right here. Cybin is a big name. Bobby Axelrod from Billions on Showtime, or Stevie Cohen, that's who the character is based off of, is a massive investor in these names. Okay, so I'm going to ripple through for the sake of time. Recent indications point to moderation in consumer spending. Yeah. So I am going to ripple through these names and you're going to write them down. If you become a member, you're going to become an expert in this stuff. If not, they're lottery tickets. MindMed, MNMD. MindMed is a must buy, period. Look at where they popped recently. Donald J. Trump gets elected and JD Vance, Robert Kennedy, Pete Hegseth are all pro-psychedelic. And then nothing. Robert F. Kennedy gets approved, yay, and then nothing. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you on my calendar, I have the 100-day. If I haven't heard from the president, JD Vance, RFK, Pete Hegseth, or the VA secretary at the 100-day point, I will be on social media taking a fucking flamethrower to these people. 17, 22, pick the number, 44 veterans die every day. Every retreat I've been on, every grant recipient we've helped, all of them to a person are healed. Or could you imagine when somebody tells you like, Wiz, I don't want to kill myself anymore. Thank you. I haven't heard a single word out of these people. I have a screenshot of RFK's tweet. If I'm HHS secretary, I'm going to reschedule ibogaine. And I don't give a shit about the JFK files. I don't give a shit about the Epstein files. I don't care about any of that stuff. What are you doing? Did they get into DC and got bit in the neck by Big Pharma? 100-day debrief. I'm going to rip these people a new asshole if they do not start moving. Why am I rambling about that? Because these names, it's a $6 stock. Now, if you're new to TOPGUN options, let me share with you, I tend to not trade options on stocks under 10 bucks. Why? That's the option. The $6 is like a call option, right? But you could, if you want, trade options in MindMed, lottery ticket calls. Go out to January of 2027. Look at the open interest. There's a lot of open interest in these names. Go buy an upside call. This would be a lottery ticket. These are actually pretty pricey calls. So this is good. There is some meat in these options down here, which tells me what? People are buying upside calls in MindMed because I predict, based on that Wall Street Journal, not based on the Wall Street Journal article I just showed you, I predict based on my experience in the space, 4 or 5 years, that you will wake up one day. Breaking news at CNBC, MindMed has been acquired by Johnson & Johnson in a whatever deal, and the stock is up 8 trillion%. You can count on it. MindMed is one of them. And I will show you in JG, I made 10K in the November bounce. There you go, buddy. Those were up 50%, right? Remember that? Okay, so let me go find. Don't take my word for it, man, even though I know what I'm doing. MNMD. Let's go look at a little firm called Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer, folks. This report came out when the stock was $5. It has a $25 price target. I think that's low. And this investment report talks about MM120 and the 12-week study. These names are cheap. okay, based on the potential upside. So this is an Oppenheimer report. This ain't whiz. There you go. There's Oppenheimer saying, yeah, it's a $5 stock right now. It's 25 bucks. Okay. So that's the first name I would buy with both hands. You can either do the options or you can do buy the stock. Cybin, CYBN. It's a $7 stock. Same type of pops around the election and RFK. CYBN. Okay. And then a tie. I absolutely love a tie. Look at this. A tie. I told you before he was going to get confirmed. Ladies and gentlemen, look what happened. I said, the stock's going to pop. It was $1.37, went up to almost $2.50, ladies and gentlemen. That was a 80% return. 80% return in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You're welcome. Same buyback here. This was a 62% return. This is what it almost looks like the VIX. This is what these names do. They freak out on good news, then they go, okay, well, we need more. When's the really good news coming? It's coming. Okay. So a tie, Cybin, MindMed. Wiz, I don't feel like picking winners, baby. Don't. Buy SIL, PSIL. It is the psychedelic advisors ETF, advisor shares, PSIL. If you don't feel SIL Holdings. Wiz, I don't know how to pick psychedelic names. Good, don't. Go buy a basket of them. This is an ETF. Oh, Jay, look at that. Wiz, what is the top holding of SIL? MindMed. Look at these names. There's your MindMed, there's your Atai, there's your Cybin, and there's a bunch of other names in the MAHA space. Make America healthy again. Folks, this isn't day trading. This is an S&P. Oh, somebody asked about that in support too, sniper shots. I just call them sniper shots, folks, on the S&P 500 because they're quick trades, in and out. The one I did the other day was 2 hours. Shot, went to the gym, looked at my phone, out. That's what I call a sniper shot because somebody's like, where do we get the sniper shots or whatever? That's just a trade. I call my S&P 500 trades sniper shots. Okay. Joe, me again, Wiz. I strapped in for a yearly full throttle. Boom. Well, welcome aboard, Joe. Now, Kevin, yeah, let's talk about that. Now, if you're sitting here like Wiz, oh man, this sounds a little, I don't know. Look at infrastructure names. I'm going to share something with you right now. And I checked with Daniel the other day. There's 25 of us. There are 25 investors in this. It's closed. Daniel was actually, where was he? In Boston, a $50 million raise. This is called Healing Realty Trust. Why are you showing me a private offering? Because this is the landscape, folks. You're not going to be able to do MDMA in your doctor's office. I'm going to my general practitioner tomorrow or my throat doctor, and he's going to prescribe MDMA. No, that's not going to happen. It ain't going to be on an examining room table with wax paper. You're going to need to be in a beautiful facility. Doing MDMA, you need to block off about 6 hours. In the state of Oregon, where we do legal psilocybin retreats, it's a 6-hour window that you have to block off. It has to be a beautiful center, a couch, a bed, a separate bathroom, and all. The infrastructure does not exist. Who's building it? Me and 24 other TGO members and Piper Jaffray. Piper Jaffray put $50 million into our REIT, and I think they're going to add a hell of a lot more. They're doubling up. Well, why you tell me about this, Wiz? Because I couldn't get into it, or I didn't get into it. Because there are two other names. AHR, American Healthcare REIT. AHR went public this time last year or last February. It is up 122%. I'm going to let that sink in. How many of you, show of hands, would have loved to have made 122% in a year? It's up 3% today. These are the infrastructure names, folks. So if you don't want to MindMed or Cybin, oh, they might get to phase 3 and it might fail. Yeah, those are biotech stocks, folks, technically. But Little risk, little reward. A lot of risk, a lot of reward. Some of those names are going to hit. I liken this to the internet in 1999. There's a pets.com and a Netscape. And then there's an Amazon and a Google. You pick the right two, you're rich. You pick the wrong two, you're broke. So if you're not in the mood to do that with the psychedelic names, go with the infrastructure. Why do I also like AHR? Look at this, 3.4% dividend. Let me do one better. Take a look at this infrastructure stock, Sabra. We have a lot of TGO members who are literally printing money in Sabra, SBRA. Also, infrastructure. I think they're out in Irvine. They're doing what we're doing. Folks, I live 2 blocks from the God's Waiting Room, the Boca Raton Hospital. Do you remember years ago, what was an urgent care? I never heard of an urgent care or a dialysis center or any of these places. Hospitals 20 years ago-ish started doing what? Pushing stuff out of the hospital into a campus or surrounding areas, right? We've all seen these around big hospitals nowadays. We are buying up existing cash flow positive businesses, medical businesses in those spaces, ladies and gentlemen, getting ready for when, not if, RFK wakes up and makes ibogaine legal. Why do I love Sabra even more than AHR? How about a 6.75% dividend? This name prints cash. Do you understand me? So look at that dividend. When's the last time you saw a stock producing that much money with a nice dividend, folks? What could you do? Now, what time is it? We got time. We could do, if you bought 100 shares of Sabra or 1,000 shares of Sabra right now, you're getting a nice dividend. But you could also do a tactic called a covered call. Since you own the shares, you could sell what is called an upside call against them and bring in some cash. You will learn about that tactic in your options weapon school training. Okay, let me show you that real quick. Underneath learning, there's where today's replay is going to be posted in accelerated retirement. This is yesterday's replay area in primary. Tomorrow we'll do solo Amazon. I'll post the replay in there, but here is options weapons school. You click on that, scroll down. In session 3 of options weapons school, you'll learn about covered calls. Hey, I own a shitload of shares, Wiz. How can I make money off of it? Sell covered calls against your long-term bullish stock. It's free money, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So, or yeah, you could, Kevin, you can sell cash secured puts and all that good stuff. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, this sector is already exploding. Okay. I don't have to say it's set to explode or anything like that. It absolutely is exploding. I have so many things I could share with you. It's almost a waste of time about how much good stuff is going on. Look at Wall Street Journal last week. Meet the California sober set. No booze, and I hate them using the word drugs because they're medicines, but drugs are fine. What? Alcohol's done, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't do my shameless plug right now of my home office filled with Maverick Mind. We have microdosing products, ladies and gentlemen. But for some people, alcohol has taken a back seat to other substances, including mushrooms, LSD, and ketamine. What? Yeah. The Wall Street, obviously a lot of liberals like to give Elon Musk a lot of grief with what? Oh, he does ketamine. And who are you? The judge. Where is, there's Demorex. This is a good, let me share this one with you. A veteran's guide to psychedelic assisted medicine. Even if you're not a veteran, this is a good, quick reference, handy guide. Like if you're sitting here, man, I didn't expect to come to a live trade brief and hear about psychedelics. Well, that's the way the universe and God works. So let me give you this link right here. A veteran's guide to psychedelics. I'm not a veteran. It doesn't matter. As veterans, as military folks, we like reference guides. We like checklists. We like, what are the medicines? Where can we do it? You know, what's the impact and stuff like that. Okay, so that's a free guide for you to use too. And then before I forget, the No Fallen Heroes YouTube channel has a ton of incredible content. Veterans healing, you know, moms healing. That first podcast, that's Dr. Matthew Johnson from Johns Hopkins. So this guy right here, folks, Dr. Johnson from the Johns Hopkins, did a study years ago on psilocybin with stage 4 cancer patients. Close to 90% of stage 4 cancer patients after one dose sat with psilocybin once showed an increased outlook on life, and you ready for this? No fear of death. I want that to sink in. If it was 10 or 20%, I'd be like, oh, okay, well, that's good. Yay. 90? But these medicines are illegal, Wiz. Yeah, ask yourself why. Follow the money. Diana, thank you, Wiz, with all this wealth of information to newbies like myself. Welcome aboard, Diana. Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is here's Arrow. I don't know if she's in here right now. Arrow is a badass F-15E Air Force Strike Eagle pilot that we took down to Costa Rica to awaken your soul. And she sat with Iboga. Listen to her debrief, folks. So this is a wealth of information on psychedelics, folks. And you know what? This is the one you need to put on your list to listen to immediately. This is Dr. Deborah Mash going down to Miami for a podcast on Friday, separate issue, but she and I and her team are meeting about potentially opening up the doors for you to invest in Demorex. There's the link to Dr. Mash's podcast. Don't take my word for it. Google her name. I don't know who Dr. Mash is. Great. Google Dr. Deborah Mash and run with it from there. Okay. Her call sign is the Queen of Ibogaine. When I was getting winged, my wings of gold as a naval aviator at Kingsville Naval Air Station in 1993, she was studying Ibogaine. She knows everything about the medicine. She knows where the bodies are buried in the space. And I will mortgage the house, sell the wife and kids to invest in Demorex. Why? Because I know the power. It was so cool to do this podcast because when she and I went out to dinner months ago and I gave her my Ibogaine debrief, she sat there. And then when I got done, she clinically told me everything that happened from Ibogaine to neuroibogaine. This is what this happened. You said it was almost like two halves of your journey, right? I'm like, yeah, it was like a tour. And then it was God with me. And she's like, that's beautiful. That's when this happens. And those neurotransmitters, this and that. I'm like, okay, I'm a political science major from South Jersey. Can you dumb it down a little bit? So I'm really excited to sit with her team on Friday and see if we can. This is the other benefit of being a TOPGUN Options member is you get good deals. If you did invest in the REIT, you are physically printing money right now. You're welcome. We're scheduled to go public. I hope I'm wearing my flight suit on the floor of an exchange here in a year or two. If the REIT goes public. Maybe we don't go public because I don't like dealing with shareholders and legal requirements. I like being a privately held company. We'll see. Daniel, many of you invested in the Oregon Clinic. Experience onward. We have No Fallen Heroes Extraction, our docu-series, hopefully starting to shoot soon. I might be going to Gabon, Africa, man. A lot of stuff going on. So Galen, need to speak with Wiz on the treatments he's gone over. I've tried to go through. Galen, shoot me an email. Wiz, W-H-I-Z, at No Fallen Heroes. And I will, I'm going to grab your, what you just wrote right there and send that to my team. But you should email me directly, Galen. This is my job. So, what's that have to do with trading? Everything. I just showed you these names. Now, Galen, let me write that down. I'm going to get that to my team. So, I told you, I think earlier in the week, in the world of options trading, if you think I'm full of shit, you know what, Wiz? Take your Malabi drug rug hippie shit somewhere else. I think this space, I think you're lying, and I think this space it's a joke and it's going to implode. Do the exact opposite of everything I just told you. That's what makes a market. Don't forget, whenever if I cover a sniper or something like that, and you sit there and go, that's dumb, I do the exact opposite. Well, guess what you can do in options? I'll teach you how to do this. I disagree with you, Wiz. Great. I'll see you at the merge. We're going to dogfight, right? With my 80% plus win rate, you're probably not going to win too often. David, cost link to join. Okay. Here is the costs. One more time, folks. I have one more trade we need to cover on the S&P 500. An annual membership, which based on the 2 or 3 people that just wanted to change their stuff, there are 7 of them left. When we're done, we're done. $29.95 for the year. It's an annual membership, or you can try it for a couple months at $4.97. Both of these give you access to our investment club called the Hunters. It's an app. I post alerts on here. You get an instantaneous alert on your cell phone. And I want to try it out for a little bit and kick the tires. You can do $2.95 a month, but you do not get access to that investment club. You're not paying for it, so you're not going to get access to it. This is the tire kicker. I want to keep, instead of having a free week of, I want a month of, well, it ain't going to be free. It's $295. No investment club, investment club, investment club. Answer your question? Because I have one more trade I want to do. Exactly. Do the opposite of Kramer, Chris. I love it. Look at the S&P 500, baby. Let's go look at our bull put spread of our iron condor. Out 70% profit, $1,200. I'm closing it. I'll put in an order for 35 cents. So ladies and gentlemen, right now I am at $5,300 in closed trades by Wednesday afternoon at 2:57. Can I get a hell yeah? Who else does this? Now I'm going to go to the Hunters. Trade alerts thread. Closing SPX bull put spread, part of Monday's iron condor. I'm going to @ everyone so everybody gets the alert. I put the trade right there. I paste it in what I'm doing. Publish. Fire. Ding. There's my app alert. $5,400, right? If I get filled, what's this at right now? Oh, it's $1,300 profit. That's $5,600 I've made this week trading the S&P 500. Again, folks, this is the exasperated time of the brief. Like, I don't know what else I have to do. Would you prefer 90 PowerPoint slides of old trades, or did you like this free week of training? Let me post this to my lifetime, folks. Closing bull put closing SPX bull put spread, part of Monday's iron condor. There it is right there. So my lifetime gets it, my hunters get it, boom. David, what is the alert app? It's called Collab, K-O-L-L-A-B. It's right here, folks. Go in there's a little 2-minute video right here, folks. It's called Collab in the App Store by Lead Connector. Go on in the Hunters or the Max Afterburner and you can watch a 30-second video on, here's what the app looks like, press download. But I just told you to do it. Okay. It's called, now remember folks, for the 90th time, it's a 49-second video. Let me give you the video right now. Folks, remember, if you're doing $2.95 a month, you don't get the app or access to the Hunters. Okay. There's the YouTube video about the app. It's 49 seconds. Awesome, David. I'm excited, man. I love this stuff. And you know what's funny? I mean, I don't it now I'm gonna pat myself on the back. It's very rare for me to do a full throttle and have there have been full throttles where I'm like, oh, got that sniper wrong. And people actually sign up even more. I'm like, well, that's a little weird. They're like, no, you're human. Ain't not all these trades, knock on wood, worked out well this week, folks. But there is 0% probability on God's green earth that I have 100% winning trades. I just showed you. So basically, I'm up to 19-1. I started keeping track of my S&P sniper shots when we started doing the heart rate monitor. I am 19-1. I had a loss, folks. It was this one. We were doing the heart rate. You ready? Down, up, down, up, down. What was going on? I forget what was going on, but I'm like, oh boy, whatever reason I thought this was going to be I thought this was going to happen here. I got it wrong. I put on a bearish double vertical and we had a rip your face off rally. That was a losing trade. So I am mortal. I'm not sitting here blowing smoke, but this is why I love doing full throttle training. So you just saw four or five S&P 500 trades for profit. Okay. Joe, on the SPX Iron Condor, would I still open the bear call spread? Not right now, baby. Let's go look. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to teach you wizisms, right? When something is on a tear, either join it or get out of the way. We're on a tear right now. I ain't stepping in front of this. No, thank you. Let's just hang. I wait until I see the whites of their eyes and we get a turn. I'm going to teach you, it's called 2-4-6, using a 2-minute chart. 2-4-6. I wait for a candle. Here's a green, next one's red. Nope, I'm not going to do anything. I need 6 minutes as a confirmation. 4 would be aggressive. If that makes no sense to you, I'm not going to teach you anymore because you need to join to get the rest of the explanation. But I am very careful, as you can tell, about here's a perfect example. I call them a sniper shot. Boom, in, boom, out. Okay. Dan, signed up, excited to be part of the squadron. Awesome, welcome aboard. Leonard, being new to trading, should we learn a platform first? Leonard, great question, man. So if I'm teaching you how to be a fighter pilot, you should probably fly the F-18 that I'm flying in right now. So I use E-Trade. However, well, my buddy uses Thinkorswim or somebody uses Schwab. It doesn't matter. I can still teach you about energy and airspace management and pulling G's. I'm just going to be in a different airplane. So if you don't have a broker yet, I don't get paid by E-Trade. I don't get a referral fee. I used to back in the day, but now that Morgan Stanley bought them, they're jerks. Anyway, I'd still recommend E-Trade even if they didn't pay me $250. But anyway, I like E-Trade. It's good for basic options trading and advanced. But there are so many brokers out there. Robinhood, I don't pay a penny. Folks, if you're not paying to trade, you're not the customer, you're the product. Ken Griffin at Citadel and Stevie Cohen are the customers. It ain't you. If you don't know who the idiot is at the poker table, it's you. If you're looking around the table like, I wonder who the rube is. So should you learn the brokerage platform first? Absolutely. There we go. Filled on the $1,300 profit. That was a Monday trade. We just ended up closing it. So the brokerage platform, E-Trade, Thinkorswim, Schwab, they all have education areas. You can learn how to use a brokerage platform in a day, right? Even if that. Or based on how your life is, maybe a week. It's going to take me to figure out all the bells and whistles. But Leonard, to your point, you should absolutely get almost every brokerage account now has what? A virtual trading platform. With E-Trade, they'll give you, $100 or $100,000 of some fake money for you to play with. You should never put any real capital at risk until you hit the simulator building. I never learned about flying and fighting the Hornet and ran out to the jet. I ran over to the simulator building and I sat in the air conditioning simulator getting engine fires and shooting down bad guys. Then I ran out to the jet, okay? What time is it? I'll go a little bit longer. Raytheon, what did I tell you yesterday? Get bullish on the defense names. Raytheon is having a monster run, and I think it's going to continue. Even if peace breaks out, I thank God or pray to God it does. Raytheon is a strong buy. This should be a long-term bullish trade like we talked about yesterday on CBOE, C-B-O-E. Wiz, I wasn't here yesterday. Well, choke yourself. You need to watch, let me close this one. You need to watch the replay. All the replays are posted on this page. Yesterday's is in the middle. Day one is right here. Today's will be here in about 30 minutes after we get done the brief. It takes me about that long to put the recording up here. But Raytheon is absolutely a name I would do synthetic stock on. Okay. Tasty trade's good, Jan. Yep. And see, what did I just tell you? If something's on a tear, either join it or get out of the way. We're all the way back up to 5,700 on SPX. Look at that. Monster. We got a print all the way up there at 5,700. Love it. Now, I'm torn because I might want to do, let's open this chart up a little bit. I'm feeling we had, look at the MACD down here now, folks. They're about to kiss. We've had a strong bounce off of this 300-day moving average. I think 5760, which is our 20-day, is the next stop. What did I tell you at the beginning of the week? I said, this is trench warfare. This is Eastern Ukraine right now. Nothing lives in here. It's violent. These moving averages act as magnets. And right now, the market is getting pulled up to that 20-day moving average. So I was thinking about placing another S&P 500 trade, but I'm going to punt because I would, let's go back to Raytheon because I've proven my SPX awesomeness this week. So you need to, let's do Raytheon. Wiz, if peace breaks out with, Vlad and Vlad, defense stocks are going to implode. No, they're not. We're out of weapons. NATO's out of weapons. Everybody's out of weapons. Raytheon ain't going out of business anytime soon. Very bullish on Raytheon. Israel is leveling Hamas positions, again. And oh, by the way, I believe in my heart of hearts, the guy gave us a date. Years ago, Xi Jinping in his fatigues, look at the SPX, baby. Let's go. He's obviously laying down some good stuff right now, man. This is what, if we weren't doing full throttle, I'd be in here sniping, but I'm trying to stay focused here. Look at that rally, baby. Thank you, Jerome. Get it. Almost 2% pop in the S&P 500. Tomorrow we're going to talk about Amazon, folks. We got to get bullish on Amazon, but this is, I think we were at the bottom, man. Amazon's starting to get off the mat. All right, let me stay focused, man. I got like 88. I got to take my microdose. Raytheon, I would go at least a month out. Let's go out to the regular April expiration. And I'm going to get bullish. I want to do a bull put spread on Raytheon. Let's go look at the chart real quick in the background. 3-month chart. What's the bottom? I had this line down 125-ish. 130's got some interesting, let me drop a line in there. Let me do this trade on Raytheon and then I got a bull. All right, options. So if you're new to options trading, let me show you something, a little cheat code here. Wiz, I looked at the chart. I don't know, it looks like 130 is a good level. Whatever, I looked at the chart. Let's go look at the options pricing. We are close to 135 right now. Everybody see that? Let's look at this 135 strike down right there. And let's look at something called the at the money straddle. If you don't know what that means, you will learn in your options weapons school. So right now, it's $6.50. Let's go look at this Elizabeth Warren TP here. Look at this. With a 54% probability, you see the green here? The options market, not Wiz, the options market is saying we think it's going to stay under 141 or over 128.55. Okay, so now I've looked at the chart. Now I've looked at the option, as I'm saying the word at the money straddle, and obviously options pricing is, oh my God, look at the S&P 500. I love it. Inflation has moved closer to 2%, longer run goal remains somewhat elevated. Clearly, the market is digging Jerome Powell today. I love this. If you're still in that bull put spread on SPX, folks, get out of it. Is that what he said, Mike? Fed still sees 2 cuts coming this year? Man, okay. Now, let's go look at this bull put spread, the 130, 125. Okay. Why 130? Well, the bottom, the left side of the Elizabeth Warren TP was what? 128.55. There is no 128.55 strike Wiz. The closest one is 130. So if I sell in April 25th, 130 put, that's me saying I don't think Raytheon's going to dip below 130 in a month. Well, Wiz, what if you're wrong? Peace breaks out, Jesus comes back and says no more war, defense contractors go to zero. I'd love that. I don't care if I lost money on this trade. I would actually enjoy that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a downside put, some protection underneath it. I'm going to buy the 125 put. Right now, it's at this spread, this bull put spread is at 73 cents. I'm a political science major from South Jersey, folks. Let's go easy. Double this. What is that? 148. I gave you a trade plan. The trade plans are over on the handouts tab over there. You should have downloaded your trade plan by now. Write this down. 148. Double the credit you take in. Now it's $1.50. What is that, Wiz? That is where I would maybe eject out of this trade to avoid maximum loss. Remember, in a credit spread like this, we want 75, we want that to go to zero. We want the full 75 cents. If it starts increasing, that means Raytheon is going down. So I haven't even placed this trade, and I just told you where I would start scratching my chin and go, should I get out of this trade? 3 weeks ago, I wrote down on my trade plan, $1.50. It's at $1.50, and yeah, it does look like Amazon. Raytheon's imploding. Eject. Haven't placed the trade. I already know an exit for minimum loss. This is why it's kind of redundant to send out trade alerts, because we already are talking about this. Okay. Now, I'm going to click on Analyze, and the only place I want you to look is max potential loss. Right here, 425 bucks. Okay. Why did you make me look here first, Wiz? I want to look at max profit. Do not ever look at max profit first. Why? Because if you don't want to lose that, don't ever look up first, folks. You, as the tick, the trader in command, you need to say, you know what? I acknowledge that risk. You need to put a little check mark next to that max risk and go, I acknowledge that. Now you can go look at max potential profit. Okay. Then you can say, okay, I'm good. And look at the probabilities, folks. There's a 73% probability of making 75 bucks. Now I'm just showing you one contract, folks. You got to fly and fight your own airplane. Okay. So now let's talk about 789. I've already beat that dead horse, but since this is a bull put spread, we talked about when we might exit for minimum loss. When are we going to take profit with 789? If I'm looking at a 70, 80, 90% profit on the credit I took in, I closed the trade. Okay. Now, looking at this spread, Jason, I can't find the max loss number on Thinkorswim, so I don't like Thinkorswim. Is that unique to E-Trade? Every analyzed ticket on just about every brokerage platform should be showing you your risk, man. If it ain't, you're in the wrong brokerage. I mean, you can calculate this. I used to have to do this manually, folks, back in the day, calculate shit manually. Now it's all computerized, folks. So Jason, you can get in the hunters, Jason, and ask your fellow TGO members like, hey, anybody on Thinkorswim, where do I find my max? Where do I find my risk parameters? Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you something right now. I don't like this trade. What are you talking about, Wiz? You just briefed it. The risk to reward ratio is a little low. Not yours. You can take it and make it yours, but I'm going to tell you right now, my SOP, standard operating procedure, is to not do a credit spread where the risk to reward is under 1 to 0.25. It's just not enough. It's too much risk for a little reward. So the only thing I do with trades that have that type of thing is I like doing an iron condor and making it range bound. Okay, let's go look at the chart. And we popped through 134 here. I'm going to repeat what I just said 5 minutes ago. When something's on a tear, either join it or get out of the way. So, couple schools of thought. School one, don't do anything. Wiz, this thing's on a tear. The reason the bull put spread is not showing a lot of credit right now is because it's ripping. So if anything, I'm going to close. I love doing this stuff live because I just talk myself out of that. If anything, I'm going to wait. What was the top? $6, 140 something. Let's look at 145, 150. No, there's no premium in either one of those. Nope, nothing. I don't like it. I mean, I like it. I have a long-term jam. That's what I'm saying, Wiz. Solo Amazon is tomorrow afternoon at 1. Well, I made Monday, Tuesday, 10 a.m. I went because I have a thyroid doctor at 9 a.m. tomorrow. So tomorrow's brief is at 1. Okay. Well, Wiz, you just wasted a lot of time on Raytheon. No, I didn't, because I just stepped you through my thought process. What I would do today on Raytheon is the synthetic stock trade. I would hop in my time machine and get bullish all the way out into the future. And you ready for this? So I don't leave you hanging, I'm going to do a synthetic stock trade on Raytheon, and I'm going to rip. Why? Because I'm treating you like you're a current member. Or even if you're in here for free, you watched your replay from yesterday and you saw me do this trade on SIBO. It's the exact same procedure. So in order to save everybody time, I'm going to rip. Here's the trade I would do today on Raytheon. Long-term bullish into the future, 2.5 years. Go. I'm selling the 135 put. I'm buying the 135 call. $610. There's the synthetic stock trade. But what's 20% of 135? That's 14,428, 107. Somebody do that. What's 20% of 135? I'm going to buy Deb, these afternoon briefs are great. Maybe you could start doing one a week versus always at 10. I could do that. Maxwell, thank you. 108. I'm going to buy. There is no 108 strike. There's a 105 and there's a 110. Let's buy the 105. Why? Because I saw 105 first. No other reason. So instead of risking 14, I'm risking $4 grand. And then out the Friday, I would sell a March 25. March 25. Let's do a 137 call. Now, for everybody on here going, oh my God, I have no idea what this is. Good, because you're going to join and you're going to learn this. And I'm not going to explain it right now because you're going to join and watch your options weapons school training. This, I'll send this out via email, is the trade, the long-term bullish trade on Raytheon I would do today. It's called synthetic stock. If you didn't understand that, watch yesterday's replay or join, and I give a little bit more of an explanation about this. But the real place to get an explanation about this is where? Options Weapons School. Joining and watching the synthetic stock trade training. I don't know, it's about an hour. I go super slow. For an hour, I will talk about this trade. But this is why I don't do this, because guess what? In the live trade briefs, folks, we're doing this type of stuff. We're going. If you have a question on that stuff, ask me in the ready room or on the hunters, or go watch your training. The live trade briefs are what? For trading. Oh, there you go. So we should have sniped. Let's go look at what time is it? 3. There's 40 whatever minutes left. I'm not going to gamble. But I love my TGO members giving me mutual support in the chat box here. You should have sniped right up there. 2, 4, 6. That's the confirmation. Do a bear call spread, because we are going to. But look at that rip, man. That's a nice rip. There's the 2. There's the 4. There's the 6. So we're probably going to maybe fade back down to 56.75. So that was there was a sniper shot opportunity, man. I'm glad my TGO members that are trained and know what I'm thinking were paying attention to that as I was helping some of the free folks out with Raytheon. Let me hook my members up with this, and I will ask. No, I'm not going to ask any more questions. I'm going to take some more questions, and then we're going to go. David, no. Is the synthetic trade similar to an iron condor, but with different expirations? Nope. So David, an iron condor is a range-bound trade. It's a football field. You can run around on the field, just don't step out of bounds. A synthetic stock is like you just bought 100 shares of Raytheon. It is a long-term bullish trade. It is not range-bound. It is, I want this thing to rip higher. That's why I did it, because Raytheon's starting to rip higher. So the exact opposite of each other, actually, David. Iron condor, range-bound. Synthetic stock, it's like you bought the shares. New Raytheon, Jan 27, synthetic. And again, folks, you're going to learn all of this stuff in your full throttle training. At everyone. Hello. There you go. At everyone. Now I'm going to post the images in here. And you can see with the closing trades, folks, I usually just, since you already had the opening screenshot of it, I just post the actual trade. So here you go with Raytheon. Trade alerts, fire. The lifetime folks also get this. There's 212 lifetime members. New RTX Jan 27 synthetic stock. This is for new members. If you already have this position, just sell the short calls out to Friday. Again, folks, building block approach and options weapon school, I will get you up to speed with options trading. The live trade briefs are where you apply everything you learned in your options weapon school. Jason, yes, I do. Jason says, in hunters, do you announce when you sell the weekly short calls on your synthetic positions? Absolutely. Yep. I'm trying to find, they're all in here. Yep. Whenever I do anything, it's posted in here. Yep. Any other, so folks, that is $5,600. Men lie, trades don't. $5,600 in 2.5 days. Week ain't even over yet, man. Let's just say, for shits and grins, Wiz can do this. It's $5,600 times 52 trading weeks. How many of you would like to potentially make 291,000 bucks? Let's just say, and I do this most weeks, that I do better than 5,600 bucks a week. Okay. It's Wednesday afternoon and I've made 5,600 bucks. 5,600 times 2 equals times 52 trading weeks. And folks, that's just trading the S&P 500. That has your SIBO synthetic stock. We just looked at Raytheon synthetic stock. Tomorrow, we're going to look at Amazon synthetic stock. And obviously, we trade Amazon front month stuff. Bull put spread, bear put spread, you know, whatever is going on. Okay. Awesome. Is there an option to join Lifetime? David, shoot me an email. Yep. Shoot me an email and I'll give you the details about our Lifetime membership. The Lifetime membership has been paid by me. So if, you know, and it's cool because my Lifetime members are like, yeah, dude, I paid for that thing like 5 years ago. 23,500 bucks month to date trading S&P 500. So it's been 2.5 weeks into March and I've already paid for a Lifetime membership. Wiz, W-H-I-Z, at TOPGUNoptions.com, David. That's my email. Okay. There you go, Kevin. Great. So all the open positions are on in the threads, right? Yep. Time is holy shit, man. So let me remind folks. These aren't hour-and-a-half briefs. These are hour-and-a-half briefs because Full Throttle and me having to sell. Actually, technically, I don't have to sell. It sells itself, but I got to do all that dog and pony bullshit. These should be 45-minute to an hour briefs. I don't like sitting here for any longer than that. I need to, first of all, right now, I need to get up and go outside because I've been sitting here too long. And like, what did I just say? It's almost like I do this for a living. I just said back here, we're going to fade to 56.75. So for the 3 or 4 TGO members that shot the sniper up there, beauty, well done. I told you, I rewind the tape. I said we're going to hit 56.75. So I got task saturated talking about Raytheon up here, but I shoulda, woulda, coulda sniped up there. Free money, baby. And that's why I called a sniper shot. I would have put on a bear call spread probably, you know, at 57.10, 57.15, and we'd be up about 40% right now, and you close it, and I'm done. That would have been 15 minutes, probably about another $1,000 profit. Was that hard? Would have been hard for you? Did it take 4 years at MIT? This is not hard, folks. Takes a little bit of elbow grease at the beginning to, you know, I need to go study my, you know, options weapons school training. Yeah. I mean, I was born the world's greatest fighter pilot. I was not born the world's greatest options trader. Okay. But once you do this training, man, this is the market. These are calls. These are puts. Folks, this is your building block. This is gold right here. These sessions right here are worth their weight in gold. Okay. So for all the folks, new folks, download your workbooks right there. Print them out. Go to Kinko's, print them out. Grab a highlighter. Go sit somewhere. They're all down here. And then session 1, baby, play. This is the market. This is the trade plan. And you will take a building block approach. This is what I strongly recommend everybody do who is signing up. And probably based on the flurry of text alerts I'm getting, you guys are probably, we might even be full of annual memberships here. So, well, whatever. Okay, one more brief. So we're done, man. We're done with Full Throttle. If you're airborne with us, great. If not, we'll see you next quarter. But tomorrow, I promised I'll do it. Solo Amazon. It's a separate standalone service. It's not part of Full Throttle, but you want to be in it too. It's only 97 bucks a month, man. This is the gateway drug for joining TOPGUN Options, or it's $970 a year. You get 2 months free. But you ready for this? We only trade Amazon. It's technically the only stock you need to own for the rest of your life. Okay, but based on how the rest of the week goes, when we get back together for full throttle stuff, I think I'm going to be putting a bullish double vertical on the S&P 500. I told you, man, this will end. Markets don't go down forever. They don't go up forever. Markets take the escalator up and the window down, and then they bottom out. And I told you Monday, I said, this is an absolute insane buying opportunity. Buy quality names right here. This is why you should never be 100% fully invested in the markets. You need a little bit of cash on the side to do what? When people panic, walk in and capitalize on that panic. Okay. Any other questions, concerns? Oh, by the ways, you bet, Diana. Absolutely. Yeah. My glossary and stuff like that. There's a bunch of wizisms that I throw out from time to time too. You'll learn all this stuff. But this is how you do it. This is how do you get experience trading? You get experience trading, right? It sucks that that young lady flipped the jet in Toronto, the Delta. Oh, it's a horror. How do you get experience, man? You get experience by flying in shitty weather conditions. So join, come to the live trade briefs, do your training, paper trade or virtual trade until you're ready to solo. Like, you know what? I'm ready to put a little capital at risk. Okay. I can't tell you when that is. You are going to have to figure that out. It's a gut. You know what? I've been paper trading for 2 weeks. I think I got this. Great. I've been doing it for a month. Great. I don't need it at all. Not great, but you're the tick. You're the trader in command of your portfolio, not me, baby. All right. I got to go. Replay is going to be on here. I don't know. I'm walking outside. I need a stretch. But clearly, whatever Jerome Powell said, the market liked. We get this stuff behind us, folks. All this crap, it's going. I'm telling you, man. I'm the first one to criticize Trump when he's wrong, but I'm also going to be the first one to praise him when he's right. A little bit of a short-term pain here, but if you can stomach this volatility and get into the quality names now, a Raytheon, an Amazon, a Cibo, a Microsoft, a JP Morgan, and then maybe have a little part of your portfolio on the lottery ticket trades, MindMed, Cybin, Atai. I think you're looking pretty good. Okay. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, WHIZ at TOPGUNoptions.com. Once we get the rest of these annual memberships, we're done. But if you don't get yours, we'll see you next time. But you can still join Solo Amazon tomorrow. Okay. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock for our Solo Amazon brief. Okay. Have a great rest of your day. God bless you. God bless all of us. God bless. Let's make this world a better place. All right. Fights on. Namaste and basi basi. I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.